As we step into a new year, many of us feel the quiet or loud pressure to do more, be more, or fix everything at once. Instead of chasing a new version of yourself, today we're slowing that down. In this episode, we are starting season 2 and the new year off right by inviting you to explore how you feel supported across all different areas of your life. Because growth isn't about intensity, it's about sustainability. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stay Mindful with Dr. Evelyn Davis. I'm glad that you're here with me. And for season 2, I know those who have been here in season 1, thank you for coming back. And if you're new here, you still have time to go back and check out those season 1 episodes. But we're in season 2. You just don't know how much gratitude that I have for being able to make it here. And I wanted to do something special for the new year because I know that January is the month of resolutions. You know, the saying, new year, new me. But I wanted to start the year off with giving everyone a new way of thinking about self-care. So in today's episode, we are going to be splitting this up in 2 episodes, actually. We're going to be doing a part 1 and we're going to be doing a part 2. So today we're doing part 1 and we're going to be talking about self-care, but not in a way that's usually presented. We won't be just talking about pampering yourself when you're already exhausted. We're going to go a little deeper than that. We're also going to be talking about the other areas of your life that are directly connected to self-care. And we're going to be using something called the 8 dimensions of self-care. So you've made it into the new year, which means you've already done something meaningful. So we want to keep that going. So first thing I want to do is reframe self-care. When most people hear self-care, they think about rest days, candles, hot bubble baths, or even vacations. And while those can be helpful, they're only a small part of the picture. So from here on out, I want you to think of self-care as how you support your whole life, not just how you recover from it. We're talking about discussing restorative practices from all areas of your life. Why do you ask? Because self-care is important and it truly works. It helps to reduce anxiety, depression, and stress. It also boosts energy, focus, and even happiness. It also supports your physical health and strengthens relationships. So while we're going through this, the big piece is to think of self-care, but think of it mindfully. And the reason why we're focusing on mindful self-care is because mindful self-care helps you to adapt, recover, and grow by allowing you to pause and check in with yourself. We want to approach this with intentionality to make intentional choices that align with your needs and also your values. So when you take care of yourself, you show up better for everything and also everyone else. So throughout this episode, I want you to keep asking yourself, how can I show up more mindfully? Because real self-care isn't just about feeling good. It's about building a life that supports you. Approaching self-care mindfully helps you to catch the early signs of burnout, pause to identify what you truly need, and then also make choices that actually support you. And that's where those 8 dimensions of self-care come in, because your well-being isn't just one size fits all. As we go over the 8 dimensions of self-care, I want you to pay close attention to how each dimension represents a different area of life that contributes to the balance and resilience and overall wellness of your life. And to make them easier to remember, we're going to be spelling out self-care. In this episode, since it's a 2-part series, we'll be just focusing on the self, which stands for somatic, emotional, luminous, and financial self-care. So let's take a look at somatic self-care. This focuses on your physical well being, how you eat, how you move, and how you rest. It's about paying attention to what your body needs in order to function, heal, and also feel supportive. Some examples of somatic self care include eating healthy and planning meals, prioritizing adequate sleep and rest, engaging in regular movement or exercise, and also taking the time to schedule regular medical checkups and engage in preventative care. I know we get busy sometimes, and if you're like me, I'm more likely to get my kids to regular schedule appointments than I am myself. However, in doing that, I cannot help them or be there for them if I'm not taking care of my own self. So it's important for us to think about doing those things for ourselves. We can do it for everyone else, but it's important to also think about doing those things for ourselves. At its core, somatic self care is about listening to your body's needs, whether that means movement, hydration, rest, or simply slowing down. Taking the time to listen to your body helps you to recognize when you need a break, when a habit may be working against you, and also when something is actually supporting your well being. It allows you to notice not only what needs attention, but also what you're already doing well. Next, we have emotional self care. Emotional self care is about taking intentional steps to care for your feelings in a healthy way. When emotions get pushed down or ignored, they don't disappear. They tend to build up, and over time, that can affect both your mental and your physical health. I know this may not be for everyone, but some ways that people practice emotional self care include spending time in nature. Taking those nice walks and having a mindful moment there. Practicing that mindful meditation, even journaling your thoughts, or even gratitudes. And seeking therapy or other professional support is also a way to practice emotional self care. Emotions are meant to be expressed. So, even expressing them through art, music, or movement are ways to tend to that dimension in a healthy way. At its core, emotional self care reminds us that emotions aren't something to avoid, they're something to pay attention to listen to, and then also support. And if you're finding this area difficult, it's okay to say that out loud. Letting someone know how you're feeling and allowing yourself to be supported is an important step towards getting what you need. Next, we have luminous self care. This is more of our spiritual well being. It's about connecting to your inner self, your values, your beliefs, and what gives your life meaning. This dimension focuses on purpose. You have reflection during this time and what you are aligning yourself with, especially during seasons when life seems busy or uncertain. For some people, luminous self care looks like prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. For others, it may look like spending time in silence or nature or exploring core values and strengths. It can also look like attending faith based or spiritual practice, going to church, worshiping, reading the Bible, or even engaging in activities that bring a sense of peace and purpose. This dimension helps ground you and can bring you clarity when things feel overwhelming or unclear. For me personally, this is an area that I check in often because I constantly want to be growing in my relationship with God and in my faith. So when I'm exploring or just assessing where I am in how much luminous self care that I'm engaging in, I take time to kind of reflect here. This helps me to stay centered and aligned with what truly matters to me. And that is being able to know who God is for myself. And then also being that example for people around me too. So I have to make sure that I give this space, some time so that I can continue to develop that. Lastly, we have financial self-care. So I know what you're thinking. You may think that financial self-care is setting a budget, and it's not. It's part of it, but that's not all what it is. Financial self-care is about managing money in ways that support your overall wellness to help reduce stress. So, money can be a big source of anxiety for a lot of people. Money can also create stress and division in relationships. So, this dimension is solely to focus on awareness and intention, not perfection. So, examples of financial self care include setting financial goals, creating a budget, building an emergency fund or a savings plan. It even entails of improving your debt to income ratio, increasing your financial literacy, and practicing mindful spending instead of impulsive purchase. So, clear out that Amazon cart, please. I'll be honest, though, even though I'm making jokes, this hasn't always been a strength for me as a married woman. As a single woman, I was on it. I was, making sure that I put things aside. Like I bought my own home in, practicing financial self-care. But as a married woman, I was like, I had somebody else to do it. So I let somebody else do it. However, this is an area that this year I plan on paying a little bit more attention to because we got goals. And when y- if you're listening and this isn't your strongest area either, that's okay. But it's important to be willing to learn and educate yourself. And if you're blessed like me to have a partner that's strong in this area, part of financial self-care is also being mindful not to undo what they are working hard to build for the both of you. So at the end of the day, financial self-care isn't about having everything figured out. It's about awareness, attention, intention, and progress. So you take this one step at a time. Okay, so that's going to wrap up the self of the 8 dimensions of self-care for this week. And as I close, I want to remind you of this. Sometimes growth looks like noticing which area feels the most depleted and choosing just one place to begin. As you continue reflecting on what I've covered today, I invite you to take a moment to listen to the mini episode on creating a mindful self-care action plan. This is where we'll walk through how to turn this awareness into something practical and supportive. Remember, this year isn't about becoming someone else. It's about coming more aligned with who you already are. In part 2, we'll continue the conversation by exploring the remaining dimensions of self-care and how they help to create balance and through boundaries, relationship, purpose, and also your environment. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You don't need a new you. You need a supported you. And I thank you for being here and for listening to me. And as always, stay mindful. Thank you for listening to Stay Mindful with Dr. Evelyn Davis. You can follow the podcast on Podbean, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And if today's episode helped you, leave a review or share it with someone who could use it. Until next time, stay mindful.